Hi, I'm Alex Archbold, and I've been buying and selling antiques since I was 9 years old. From basements to scrapyards, I'll look just about anywhere I can to find lost antiques and collectibles. And sometimes I'll go big and buy everything. With my wife and kids, we run an antique shop in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, filled with some of the most unique items we can find. I never know what's going to happen or who I'm going to meet. This is our life, this is our adventure, and this is Curiosity Inc.
I'm home, honey.
Well, good morning, everyone. It is a country sort of day today. I'm headed out to go look at some treasures. The fellow has barns and who knows what else, full of all kinds of cool stuff. It was raining really hard last night, so I've brought my wife's vehicle, but hopefully I don't make it too mucky or she'll never lend it to me again. Anyway, it should be a fun adventure. I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna find just yet. I'm on my way there. So let's go check this out.
In 350 meters, the destination is on your right.
Well, this is already kind of promising when you see there's old cars sitting around out in the field. Actually, some cool ones out there too. Oh, this is definitely the place. He said he had a lot of stuff. So we'll go inside and check it out. It should be pretty fun. So you've got some hand bits. You imagine twisting that all day long?
Oh yeah, the big awls, yeah.
Probably have your arm fall off by the end of it. That's part of
Those
a,
are
part of a scale.
and that. I've got 3 of these. I just brought the one out.
Okay.
And
Oh, I see. You have the scale itself. It's down there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if you'll come in here, anything that you see that you
T-tins.
might be interested in, I have much more.
What on earth is this? American St. Louis? Is that off a fire truck or something? It looks like apparatus for running some sort of belts or...
That was for running a great big 8-foot lathe with all the belts.
Oh, okay.
For a shoemaker.
Oh, for a shoemaker. Well, it would have been a pretty big industrial set. So you're not afraid to get into the industrial stuff?
I just took the legs off there. I want to turn them into a table. That's those white ones.
Oh, the white legs there. Okay.
And right beside it, I got a hit and miss engines. And this is what I did last week.
Okay.
These here, I got a...
Oh, there's a There's a toy tractor hiding in there.
Oh yeah, there's a couple there. I just did these. I got to do the wood yet on them.
Right,
I
okay.
haven't started this one yet. Those are almost done. Like I said, I got to do the wood.
So how do you get the blades back looking nice? You sand them all down and finish
Buff them with the wheel.
Oh, you buff, so that's all buffed out with the wheel.
Yeah.
That would take quite a while, actually.
It's not bad. Once you get used to doing it, I got to, just use a 4-inch grinder with a angle grinder with a 6-inch buffing wheel on, and it goes really quick.
So you've given yourself just a few projects to restore?
Well, like I said, this is all from basically mid-August of last year. That orange thing is a blower for a forge.
Yeah, I see. Those are forgers and a forge blower, and then you've even got the tongs and the...
Yeah, I got the puddler. And
this is stuff you're keeping to restore or for sale?
It's all for sale.
Oh, okay.
If it doesn't go as is, I restore it.
There's a lot of people doing blacksmithing nowadays.
Oh, yeah. Because I not only got that, I got spare anvils too, so.
Little T-tin. And I was looking at that, and you go, okay, well, that's an old cast iron tractor, but then you can kind of tell it's a newer one because it's got the modern style screw. Mm-hmm. They replicated a lot of this stuff back in the 80s, 90s, and, well, mainly in the 80s and 90s. But it's still fun. Nice little decoration piece. Yeah. That's an original, probably 60s or 70s one right there.
This is what they gave the kids when somebody bought a tractor.
Yeah, all you got to do is get your dad to buy a tractor and you'll get your free toy. Works out well.
I'm just going to get that.
Oh, sure. There's lights going. Yeah. I'll get out of your way. I'm kind of admiring this display. Like farmers.
I haven't even had a chance to clean it up yet.
Yeah, well, that's, you see these at farms all the time where they do like the history of wrenches and
I got tools scattered all over, so if you're interested in anything from shooting galleries to...
Shooting galleries?
That's what those are, for pellet guns.
Oh, okay. Actually, yeah. My kid would really be into that. Every time we go to the farm, we set up paper targets, but he'd love something like that.
Yeah, out of the
newspapers.
70s. Yeah, they're all...
Oh, I see literally antique newspapers about the antiques business.
Yeah.
Funny how what people collected has changed a bit over the years.
Yeah.
You got a box of toys.
Yeah. And these are like British comics. I pulled them out of a hayloft in a barn. And there's this box is
some old radios.
Yeah. Oh, that's
musical
parts.
instruments, trombone, slide trombone.
Yeah.
You got an old bicycle over there.
And in the back, underneath, I couldn't dig it out for you today. I've got a antique coffee grinder, the big commercial one.
Well, that's back there.
Yeah, it's back under here.
Oh, I'm gonna see if I can see it.
All right, hold the light. I gotta
get a little bit more cord. So somewhere back in there is an antique coffee grinder.
Yeah.
Well, that is something I'd be interested in if a person could reach it. Okay, I've got a little bit more light now. It must be way back in there. Is it on the ground? I imagine it is. Yeah, someone's gone to great efforts to paint a little nautical scene on the outside of this one. And that, you said, was one that was sort of bronzed or brass polished. It was a retirement gift to a guy who worked at the dairy.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. He hauled those around for a living, and they said, hey, you want to haul one more? Take the shiny one with you.
That's the thing. He did. That's what he did from when he graduated from school. Well, they didn't graduate back in them days. They graduated from like grade 9.
Yeah.
And they went to work.
And found this old Dukes of Hazzard model kit. My shopping cart's kind of starting to get full already.
Well, I was hoping because...
Yeah, it's in there, yeah.
I need the room.
Well, we'll see what we can do. I see you've got a couple park benches you're working on too.
And right by your feet,
yep,
there's two old, I think they're 16mm film projectors.
Oh, I see there. Yeah,
the box on top of it is the bulbs.
The bulbs for it.
Because usually that's what you can't find.
Some old soda crates. But I was looking in this box. Maybe I'll go around the other side to get there. I actually need a headlight for one of my trucks, and you've got a box of headlights and taillights. I might come around and see. I've got one that's blown out right here. That's a cool little taillight.
I got more here.
Okay.
Again, it was an auction, and what I wanted, all these here. If you'll pick that side up, I'll pick this side up. We'll lift it out.
There we go.
Get at it.
Okay. Let's see. Because I need a 6-volt headlight. I don't know what diameter I need though, but I do need a 6-volt headlight. Oh, I see. There's a whole. Yeah, you'd almost have to get the whole set of them, I guess, because you don't know if you're gonna which side you're gonna need or won't need. Okay, well maybe we can do a deal on these headlights.
Yeah.
We've got this old Elna sewing machine. It's a good brand. Oh, let's see if I can grab that. So far, we've dug out the massive Singer sewing machine, coffee mill, a couple of cream cans. It's a heel press for a cobbler, a shoe press. You turn this, it presses your heel. Some people might find cobbling depressing if you had that. There's buckets of light bulbs, sewing machine, there's an anvil. So we did find some stuff outside.
Oh yeah. Well, I figured I got an eclectic. I saw you had an eclectic collection at your store.
I do.
And I've got about as eclectic as you can get out here.
I think you do. So you've got, what is this, about a 52?
This is a 52, I believe.
Not that different from the one I've got.
Yeah. And the whole thing's for sale, like I said. I'm not a mechanic.
Yep. Like it was a company vehicle.
I bought it to keep it from getting squashed, because that's where it was going if I didn't take it.
Not very comfortable seats with that linoleum backing on there.
Yeah. I figured if nothing else, I just cut it off here and turn it into wall art.
Keep the front end.
Or a bar.
Oh, somebody will buy it.
Yeah.
And back in the car, back traveling again. I ended up filling up the entire vehicle full of stuff. Might have to borrow my wife's car to take it to work tomorrow to offload because it is packed. Did end up arranging to buy the missing trim I need for my truck. So that's good. He said he's going to bring it into the city for me. Yeah, just lots of cool stuff. Had a good visit out there. So we'll get back to the shop and we'll finish this up by going through it at the store. This is the Beverly Hillbillies interior that I've created in my wife's Volvo here. I have to unpack all this stuff. Don't know where it's all gonna go, but it was so cool I had to bring some of it in. We got coffee mill. Anyway, we'll get it unpacked and I'll show you what I got. From inside the house, I found this. This is an early battalion photo. It's the, what is it, the 40th Alberta Dragoons Overseas Draft, number 13, Sarcee, that's in Calgary, camp. And that's August 2nd, 1917. World War I picture. There are a lot of folks, I have several good customers that buy these sorts of things, and then they'll actually research all the guys and find out what happened with them. It's pretty fascinating. Among that was this stack of old photographs. Now, you might not think much of it, old family photos. Somebody, a young person in the mountains, and then they're kind of getting older. And it goes through, and then you see, okay, there's a bunch of youngsters hanging out. And you find out that this was a young German man, and him and his friends joined the military. And later, you know, you see the progression here going through from being a youth and playing accordions and having fun to being a soldier. And it looks like recovering bits of downed aircraft, or who knows what that is. But look, there's, you know, a battle scene that they took of a bombed out truck, supply truck, and soldiers on the field. Terrible, you know, they go from being in the mountains, playing accordion, being just a young person, to being there in the battlefields. It's just how quickly things change in a war. But I thought it was kind of fascinating to get the whole picture and story. You see them there. And there he is there. So early photographs like that, they have some historic significance. A family grouping like this, well, it tells a story. So we'll see if there's anybody interested in that down the road. Divine Service Book for the Armed Forces. I wonder if that is a First or Second World War printing. Let's see if it's got the date in it. 1950, okay, it's post-war, just after the war. This I thought was kind of neat. Home manufacturer of furs and skins. That would be, this is, you know, for fur traders or trappers, you know, how to do certain types of dressings. This would be how you'd survive in Canada, you know, in the turn of the century. This book feels like to me, yeah, 1916, fairly early. So principles for curing skins, handling hides, how to soften and clean them. So if you are on the prairies and you need to know how to do this, this would be the book for you. Anyway, I like old books like that. There was a couple magazines in here too that I really liked, mainly because of the art on the cover. This one's called The Mentor, and it's from 1928, as we can see. And it's got this beautiful Mountie with the mountains behind it, all in color. I mean, that would look just amazing framed and up on a wall. And there's another one here with the cowboy. Same artist, Howard McCormick. But I just love that early graphic art sort of look. These magazines, incidentally, are in really good shape. They're not all, you know, the pages are nice and crisp and it doesn't smell funky like they oftentimes do. So this is all about art and exploration, I guess. Not quite like National Geographic, but, you know, there's some history in there too. So this one has a focus on the mounted police. Really nifty. And this is the Illustrated London News Silver Jubilee record, 1910 to 35. And it was kind of cool because there was all sorts of, you know, pictures and artifacts and things like that, like the pictures of the tanks, mechanizing the army, but lots of really great, colorful plates and prints in here. And this one has quite a focus on the First World War, so there's lots of military pictures. Something like this would be a nice piece to have go with the military items that we got in. But there it is, the King as a yachtsman. Great color plates. Anyway, lots of fun. This is actually kind of a neat piece. This dog is made out of bronze. And you might notice something about him, that he looks a little bit different than a regular sort of statue. When you push down his tail, his mouth opens up. It's a nutcracker. I'm hungry. Feed me. Anyway, he's a really heavy piece. It's quite large too. Like it's probably about a foot long or so. It's pretty nifty. I've never actually had one like that in before. I'm sure someone's going to think that's neat. You know, pick these things up as either decorator pieces or as a practical piece where you can, you know, use it as a novelty nutcracker. That dog has an ungodly large jaw. I wouldn't want to be bitten by that guy. Get your whole foot in there with one gulp. Sometimes I pick things up just because I think they look kind of cool. Like this knife, it has this obsidian blade with this Aztec looking handle. This would have been kind of a tourist piece, likely sold in Mexico. However, it's still pretty neat. And as a decorative object, it's cool. Surprisingly, it's fairly sharp. The little lighter here, you see it's a Zippo. Not terribly old. Well, actually, it's in a newer case than what it is. But this is a Zippo made in Bradford. But what you see on it is Invincible. That is the Invincible aircraft carrier that was in commission by the Royal Navy from, I think, 1980 to 2014 or so. It's out of commission now, but that is aircraft carrier lighter. Well, I mean, it's not for lighting aircraft carriers on fire. It's, you know, got the little markings of the aircraft carrier. You get it. Anyway, it's neat. And there's lots of Zippo collectors out there, so I should have no issue selling that. Picked up this nice old Waterfall Northern Electric radio. Really great design, very, very fun graphics on that. It has sort of this speckled green finish, very industrial looking. And the best part is it still works. Over here, you'll notice that we've got a few pistols. Now, one of these guns is not like the other one. And not just because this is missing the handle. These are replicas. Well, this is an authentic Civil War era Colt. In fact, I have one very much like it right now. This was supposedly dug from a battleground many, many years ago, and it's surprisingly not really rusty. I mean, everything is moving and working. If I get a few little extra pieces for this, we might be able to make the whole thing. Pretty neat piece of history there. Anyway, as an operable Colt, that would be a pretty collectible piece. Right now, it's just parts and pieces. Also picked up this railway lantern today. Now, this is a signal lantern. This would have been mounted, you can tell from the square base. That would have been mounted on a post, and that would be more of a switch lantern that would have sat by the side of the tracks. Someone would have had to go there and light these with a kerosene wick. Anyway, it's nice to see in overall original condition, and it still has the wick inside, which is often missing. Wickless is generally how you find them, but this one is complete with all the inner bits. If you're lucky, you'll get it where it says the railway on it. This one, I believe, yep, there it is right there. Canadian Pacific Railway, CPR. So now we can determine what line that was on. And I picked this up. Why? Because it's my Corona. It's my Smith Corona. Always pick up typewriters, especially the little ones like that. They have a pretty good following. People use them as decor, but they also are starting to type with them. Oh, those youngsters who think that this old stuff is cool again. What's old is new, and for whatever reason, typewriters become popular again. I've got to find somewhere to put this coffee mill. The idea was you'd put your raw beans, your whole beans in the top, you turn the crank, and out through this little spout here, you'd have your bag, and it would spit out your coffee grounds ready to go. Now, we are selling coffee now. This might be the sort of thing that we could, you know, clean up, disinfect, maybe put back to work. Who's to say? But it is going to make its way back into the store, and I'll fiddle around with it for another day. Got my cans inside, including the presentation bronzed one, and the other one I picked up because it had such nice, beautiful painting all over it. I don't normally pick up folk art, but that's a cool piece. Up at the front of the shop, well, that's another story. It's going to take me a while to get this all offloaded. I don't know if you saw or not, but I did buy the anvil. I believe this is a Peter Wright, so an antique anvil. You look for chipware. They hit another one there, but it was really worn out on the edges. The crisper the edge, the better the anvil. Also, if you tap it and you hear a ring, like we kind of got out of that, that means that it doesn't have any major flaws with the casting itself. And you want to have a bit of bounce on an anvil. And if you start getting flaws or people have welded on it, it doesn't react the same way for blacksmithing. So that's a good one. All this will have to be cleaned up tomorrow and it's a bit of a mess right now, but everything will have a home. And it's a fun mess. Look at this. There's swords from the 1800s. There's Civil War era pistol. There's a Dukes of Hazzard car. There's army helmets. All kinds of neat things that came in today. So we're gonna get this all put away and put out tomorrow once I come in. But for now, I'm gonna call it a night. So after everything was said and done, I paid just about $1,700 for everything you see. That included the giant Singer sewing machine, the Elna, the anvil, the coffee mill, and a lot of those items kind of are in the $500 and up sort of range. So when you consider that, I hope to probably make about $1,500 profit. Some of these things might be sitting around for a while. They don't sell overnight, but it's cool stuff for the store, and I know I will have a buyer for it. So thanks for watching today's episode. I'm glad that you tuned in. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're in the Edmonton area, come over for a visit. We're here Tuesday to Saturday, 11 to 5. I look forward to seeing you through. Have a wonderful day, and bye for now.